You know, it's pretty funny. During yesterday's show, I called out Mike Dunleavy Jr. and the direction of the Golden State Warriors, and I was wondering, what is the Warriors' plan? This used to be such a well-run organization. They got to make some moves to surround Steph Curry with some actual talent because he's still playing at a really high level at 36 years old. And I'm glad that Mike Dunleavy Jr. watches the show because right after we recorded that, the Warriors have been active. So right now, before we start today's show, I want you to grade the Warriors offseason so far, A, B, C, D, or F. And with that, let's take a look at the top remaining free agent targets for Golden State. And this is Golden State Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. No matter where you are, how you're tuned in, we appreciate you for making today's show a part of your day. And shout out to Allie, Barefoot, Tyler Smith for also handling some duties here on Warriors Today. Smitty, one of the producers of this show. Allie Barefoot, one of the faces of this show that you're very familiar with. Breaking news overnight. And Smitty put together that video of the developing story of the Warriors trying to acquire Buddy Hield via a sign-in trade. And yesterday, Allie did a great breakdown of the Kyle Anderson signing. Now I'm back, and we're taking a look at the top remaining free agent targets, players who Golden State could add after signing DeAnthony Melton and Kyle Anderson. And if that Buddy Hield trade is made official, we know the details of it. We'll pass along that information when it comes to the forefront. As for the Warriors' salary cap situation here, I want to start off with this because I believe it sets the barometer, the foundation, and it informs you for what we can get into on today's show and the players who Golden State could sign. $168 million is committed in salary cap space for the 2024-2025 season after the DeAnthony Melton and Kyle Anderson additions. The Buddy Hield sign-in trade is rumored to go into the taxpayer exemption, and then the Warriors still have access to the $4.7 million biannual exception and vet min free agents. So still an opportunity here for the Dubs to add some talent, and we'll see if they end up pulling off that trade for Lauri Markkanen. With that, we flip the page to our updated free agent targets, and I want to start off with Saddiq Bey. I think Golden State could add some size and athleticism to their roster. Saddiq Bey would be able to check that box off. He is coming off a torn ACL. Money is definitely drying up around the league. A lot of these teams don't want to go into that second apron because of the restrictions that come with that, and Bey is a long wing who can hit buckets. And he's had flashes of really solid play. 6'7", 215 pounds last year with Atlanta, 13.7 points per game, 6.5 rebounds. So he does rebound the basketball at a pretty good level. 41.5% from the field, not as efficient as you'd want, and only 31.5% from three, not as efficient as you'd want. But you put him into the Warriors player development program, and you hope that he'd be able to maximize his three-point shooting abilities, because in the three previous seasons, you see 36% from three, 34.5% from three, and then 38% from three back during the 2020-2021 season. This is also still a young player who can be a really solid rotation piece and spot starter. Might be the number one target for Golden State here, given Golden State's cap situation, money around the league shrinking by the hour, and the possibility that the Warriors deal some wings for Lauri Markkanen. And if they do deal some wings for Lauri Markkanen, Saddiq Bey could make some sense. Should the Warriors sign him? Let's hear from you down in the comment section here. Why for yes and for no? The whole Kyle Anderson thing, he really clashes with Draymond. Those are two forwards who can't really shoot, which didn't really make sense to me, but I do think Saddiq Bey would be a logical move. Oshae Brisset, our second free agent target here, a little-known player from the Boston Celtics, and Boston has been so busy retaining literally their entire roster from the team that won the championship last year, they could let Brissett walk. He did not play a lot with Boston on that loaded team. 3.7 points per game a year ago, 2.9 rebounds, less than an assist, 44.4% from the field. He is a switchable defender, high-energy rebounder, and a capable three-point shooter. who's coming off a championship, played his college ball at Syracuse, and you look at those numbers there, hard to gauge how productive he would be or what he'd be able to do because the sample size was so small. 11 and a half minutes per game last year. 2 years ago with Indiana, he played a little bit more, 6 points per, but the field goal numbers at 38.5%, three-point numbers only 31%. Before that, with Indiana, you see the 2 years there, 2021-22, and then 2020-21, nearly 11 points per game there and 9 points per game. So he could be a little bit of a rotation piece who can eat up some minutes and also give you some size. If a Warriors move does happen, you know we have you covered here on Warriors Today because that's how we roll. The second the Warriors make a move, we make a video, and we're approaching 65,000 subscribers already. We're 28 people away. I know we can get there with this video, so just hit that sub button right now. Precious Achiuwa, a former first-round pick out of Memphis, who started his career with Miami, then went to Toronto, last year played with the New York Knicks, is a free agent candidate who I think a lot of people would be somewhat excited about. The Warriors could use some more front court depth, and Achiuwa brings high energy, switchability, an occasional three-point shot here and there. He's also still young. A high flyer who can defend the rim, run the floor, 6'8", 225. You know, the fact that the Miami Heat drafted him, I thought he played okay as a rookie, and there have been stretches of very solid play as evidenced by what he's done in his career. This past year with New York and Toronto, 7.5 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, nearly a block per game. Season before that, 9 and 6. Season before that, 9 and 6.5. So as a rotation piece and a backup big, I think the Precious Achiuwa could be a solid addition to this Warriors basketball team. And then there's Seth Curry. Seth Curry a couple of years ago was one of the most efficient three-point shooters in the game. Him and his brother Steph Curry, obviously, very efficient knockdown shooters from deep. The last couple of years, though, Seth Curry has been seldom used because partially he is a traffic cone on the defensive end of the floor. Cannot guard a lick. But if the Warriors want to add another shooter, obviously Seth Curry would be able to help you in a big way there. This might just be for the vibes, but also adding enough shooters, always good. And that Buddy Hield sign and trade has not been official. And I think that Seth Curry could be cheaper than Buddy Hield. Last year with Dallas and Charlotte, started the year with the Mavs, ended it with Charlotte, barely played with the Hornets, 5 points per game, 35+% from three. But then you look at the numbers in the 3 previous seasons before that, career year with Philadelphia back in 2021-22, when he averaged 15 points per, 42% from three on nearly 6 attempts per night. And then the following year with Brooklyn, still 40.5% from three on almost 4 attempts per night. I still think he can give you that, but you're going to have to probably set up a defensive scheme in which you understand he might get blown by, so we have to have that security blanket around the rim for some protection there. So who is your guy? Name an available free agent target that the Warriors should sign. Obviously looking at very affordable options on today's show. And be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit that sub button down below. Or if you want to plug in that link, youtube.com/WarriorsTV, you can do that as well. Appreciate everybody for supporting the show. Warriors Today, straight up humming. Nobody's doing what we're doing here on YouTube, and we couldn't do it without you.